Okay, the mission was to build a really cool box that can house my generator next to the house, keep it out of the snow for the most part, out of the weather for the most part, and basically be able to leave this outside all the time. So that's the little cover thing. I can pull over it when I'm definitely not using it at all, but this is my little creation. So I'll explain it here. The intake is on, this is actually the back of the generator. I should probably turn it around. So this is the front of the generator here, right, with all the buttons and the switches and the plugs. The front of the generator will be facing out, obviously, right? You fill the gasoline from the top. I'll show you kind of what provisions I've set up for that. The intake is on this side here, right? So again, this will be the left side over here. So what I did was I put two intake vents on the side of this box I built, drilled it out, used a Sawzall, cut out the squares inside. I'll show you. I got this little latch to keep that shut nice and tight. Little doors. I want to be able to get it out easily. So notice this little crossbar down here. Well, when I fuel it, I need to be able to lift the lid and fuel it from the top. And it's got lots of space to breathe in here on purpose. Again, these are the vents, like on the inside for the intake. Then there I have an exhaust fan that will be plugged in and running off of the generator. So the generator has a remote start. So I can remote start the generator and the exhaust fan will automatically turn on and start pulling the heat out of there. And these little flaps will open up. So you can see there, they're like mildly weatherproof there. Then you see I've got this exhaust hole. Well, I bought a kit, which is pretty cool. And the kit attaches to the exhaust, which is right there in the center, a little hole, right? And it plumbs through these adapters through into another muffler. So this will open obviously when the exhaust is coming out. And this is supposed to reduce the noise from the generator by another like 55%. And that muffler comes out of this. So although it'll be generating heat inside, it'll have plenty of air to pull in cool air, but also it's exhausting at the same time through this fan as far as the heat goes. And the exhaust itself is going to be shooting out the back there. So obviously I haven't painted this on the outside, obviously, or anything, but it'll be a little bit neater than this when I'm finally done. I just wanted to get it mocked up so I can get the generator out by the house and start testing it by plugging it into the solar array as far as the batteries go. So I want to be able to charge the batteries if there's no sun. I've also ordered more batteries, so it's going to be pretty cool having more storage for the batteries and then a way to top off my batteries when there's no power. We had a maybe 4 or 5 day stretch last year once, and this year is supposed to be a pretty bad snow. So, I'm trying to be prepared. I also bought this, and this is going to be like a little door. I got to cut a little notch out of the door, so that way I can open the door. I'll probably put it on the back somewhere over here. But I'll be able to notch that so the wire that goes to the actual batteries themselves and my inverter can come out. It's a big fat, like 240 volt looking wire, or I guess it'd be like 2 gauge or whatever it is. It can come through here. This door will be, shut. And then if I want to pull the plug out, because the plug is so big, I can just open the door, pull the plug out, then again, shut it whenever the wire is running through that, maybe in the corner or something. Or maybe right here in the middle. I haven't decided that yet. And then the fan itself has a speed, like a variable speed. So I'll probably test, what speed makes the most sense. I don't want it to be, too cold inside. Maybe a little bit of heat won't be bad for it as far as the whole generator setup itself. But I've got latches on the front door. So I need to be able to open the front door clearly to access the front of the generator itself, which again, sorry, let me show you. All right, so I need to be able to access the front. Well, that will be easy to just access the front. Then notice when I raise the lid, which I do have gas struts, which I haven't installed clearly, but right here I got these two little gas struts. I think each of them lift 40 pounds each. I just haven't completely finished everything yet. Sorry, I'm walking around everywhere. And then to fill it up, I'll just be able to pop this open and then pour the gas from the top. So everything I bought was Amazon, and then all the like 2x4s are, it's not exactly a 2x4 actually, but whatever these boards are, they were just leftover materials actually from the previous owner of my home. So that's actually what I've been using to build this with. But yeah, I wanted lots of space in here. I wanted to enclose it to keep it out of the elements. Again, in Vermont, it's negative, 15s and 20s, and I've seen as low as negative 24 here. So yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty cool setup for this generator. Again, this is the back of the generator. But the exhaust, you can see how that little fitting will come off, and I'll be able to plumb everything through here via this whole little kit. It was actually kind of a cool kit. I think it was $85 on Amazon, the kit itself. So maybe I'll do another video when it's done. But I also bought some insulation. I don't know what this just insulator material is. I was thinking about wrapping the interior of this, but honestly, I'm not sure what that would do if I'm pulling in so much cold air from these vents. I put a vent low because that's right where the intake is. But if the snow builds up on the side of the box, I did want the vent up high too here. So I'm kind of deciding, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to do any insulation. That just doesn't even make sense. It's not like it's airtight anyway. So I don't know. I'll just use that for something else some other time. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think. It turned out pretty good. I did it with exactly 3 sheets of plywood and leftover building materials, and all the hinges and hardware were things that I bought on Amazon. Try to do this one-handed and it's not happening. This little guy, I wanted something to be able to really wrench it down tight. Oops, maybe it's too tight. I probably made it too tight, whatever. But you get the idea. And I also want to be able to lock this. So, if I can't lock it, I don't want, somebody stealing my generator, clearly. All right, let's see here. I loosened it. There we go. A couple notches there. And this is actually lockable too, this little guy. You can put like a little guy in there too. But this is really honestly just to keep the rattle down. So yeah, let me know what you think. Vent. Last thing I gotta do, obviously I gotta paint it. It looks hideous because it's just raw. But I just gotta route the exhaust once I get it all in place, which it is heavy, clearly. Yeah, and I gotta put this little trapdoor back here somewhere. I don't know. I'll figure that out. Yeah, cool. All right, let me know what you think.